You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over the new list for Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Now, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX came out a short set ago in Chilling Reign, but does it get buffed from Evolving Skies? 100%. So off the top of my head, there's a couple ways that you can go about this list. You could either add in a slim Espeon VMAX line, similar to Alcremie. Instead of you pitching your energies away, you're going to be relying on your opponent playing energies. I think that could be pretty cool in the mirror match, but I'm going to be looking at the Galarian Articuno. So it came as both a promo and as just a regular holo rare. In this set, when you plop it down from your hand, you can attach up to 2 psychic energies to it. That's going to work tenfold with things like Alcremie VMAX. So you could just be like, cool, here's a plus power for 120 damage that I literally just could have plopped down. Or you want to know what? My Max Geist is now doing an additional 60 damage. Getting extra energies in play is awesome, and also having an attack that can snipe your opponent's Pokemon for 120 damage is certainly Pog, as the cool kids say. That being said, the list is in the description. Check that out. Feel free to pick up some Zach Lesage merch and maybe look into becoming a channel member or playing in one of my events. All that stuff really does support me as a content creator. Give this video a like if you like this content. It really helps boost the YouTube algorithm. I can't stress that enough. If you literally give this video a like, more people will view this video. And leave a comment below letting me know if you like Shadow Rider or not. Shadow Rider is currently one of my top picks for the Pokemon Online Global Championships later on this week. I'm just trying to share my list and everything that I have available with our community. That being said, let's jump into this video and see exactly what we got going on. So here's where I'm at with my Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX deck list. You can see that it has the core of the 4/4 Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, and the ability Underworld Door is allowing you to attach psychic energy from your hand to your bench psychic Pokemon. If you do, you get to draw 2 cards. So kind of like a Malamar Zoroark GX. Of course, this card's going to be very good. It absolutely dominated our standard format from Team Up to Chilling Reign. So I don't see how it's going to be changing too much. The only dark decks that really get buffed would be Dark Toolbox and just kind of Galarian Moltres variants. So where does that bring us with the list? I decided to go with the Alcremie VMAX version. I think it has more synergy with the Galarian Articuno. So we're going with the Galarian Articuno build here. Again, I think there's possibly a world where you sub out the Alcremie VMAX for the Espeon VMAX, and I'll show everyone what it does, where I'm at with that. So you got the Espeon V, so you could do 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon V, which seems okay. Super Cyber, it's not bad, but then we're really looking for Max Mindstorm 60 times for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Typically, a lot of decks do not have a lot of energies, but after a Dark Moon GX, this might be a great way for you to get around their Pokemon if they have 6 energies in play. 6 times 6 is 360. Of course, they could always knock out things, so don't absolutely hold that against me. Solar Revelation, prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to all your Pokemon that have energy attached. Existing effects are not removed. Damage is not an effect. So you could get away with some things with Espeon VMAX. Solar Revelation might just be the better way to play this deck. Right now, I'm going to go with more of the proven Alcremie VMAX, because Alcremie VMAX is ultimately weak to Metal type, and that is allowing you to get around a lot of some wacky matchups. I've been able to take down Eternatus decks because I have Alcremie VMAX in this deck, just because it's not getting one shot like this by pretty much any darkness type Pokemon. Galarian Articuno is really the new Pokemon on the block, so its Cruel Charge ability, when you drop it down from your hand to your bench, you may attach up to 2 psychic energy cards from your hand to this Pokemon. That allows you to power up both your Max Geist and have energies in play to discard with G-Max Whisk. You might be like, yo, that's going to take away from Underworld Door. I mean, at the end of the day, we're able to just accelerate a bunch of energies, and sometimes you are not able to just like get that extra energy in play. Galarian Articuno is literally just a sitting option. And even if you start with it, Psy Laser has been proven to win games. There's Pokemon that's, sometimes you just like hit something with Max Guys for 240 damage, and you have to get boss. Now you can just Psy Laser it and win the game. I like that Galarian Articuno adds options and depth to this deck. Beyond that, I do play the Path to the Peak build with a couple Marshadows, allowing us to kind of get set up with this general list. Everything else is just having ordinary rods to get things back. It's a pretty basic list beyond that. So while Shadow Riders are down online, I recommend that you pick them up because it is a very good deck. I cannot stress this enough. I'm not trying to meta manipulate. I'm literally out of the goodness of my heart letting people know that Shadow Rider is a good deck. If you haven't already picked them up and you're thinking like, yo, what should I pick up from Evolving Skies? I totally think Evolving Skies is a set that is going to be good in its lifetime. Right now, I don't think it's super format impactful. There's a handful of cards that I think you should pick up. Shadow Riders are cards that I'd probably pick up first if you do not have them on PTCGO. That being said, I want to show some excellent gameplay here, see exactly what's popping on with this sick deck, and let's jump into that and see exactly what's going on there. So our opponent's going to call the coin flip. We lost the coin flip, but we still might get the chance to go first. Our deck would really like to go first. Okay, they're going to go first. That's fine. When we go second like this, we also have options to go like Horror House GX if they only get like one Pokemon down. So our deck is like pretty flexible compared to other decks, and that's what makes it very good. Starting with the Shadow Rider Calyrex V ain't bad, and we are playing against Ice Rider Calyrex V. So depending on what they do, we can try to go for a Horror House GX, but it's typically not advisable when you are playing against this particular matchup. And the reason why is because it just has 240 damage on it, like, or 240 HP, which makes it kind of spooky. Now, we know we're not going to be using Path to the Peak in this matchup. I think it is much best to be just discarding it. They don't play really any abilities, that's why we're going to be discarding Path to the Peak. So we don't want to be going for that. We really want to be focusing on the Alcremie VMAX this matchup if possible. We did prize our Galarian Articuno. That can be great for our Alcremie VMAX later on. I'm going to go with Shadow Rider Calyrex. How many air balloons do we have? We have 3 switch, 2 air balloons. We did prize a switch, or we prized a psychic energy. Yeah, let's go for a Shadow Rider. I think this sounds absolutely fire. And I really don't see a huge issue of me playing Dedenne-GX down. I would rather retreat into a Dedenne-GX and then force 2 Shadow Rider Calyrex instead of giving our opponent Shadow Rider Calyrex, Shadow Rider Calyrex. So we're going to go ahead like this, try to just get set up as much as possible. So I might try to sacrifice this Pokemon if I'm given the opportunity to do so. We also have access to Marnie. Could be okay. I don't know if Boss's Orders is going to be the wave here, but we're going to try to go for it. So let's go for... Do I want to discard Research or Boss's Orders? That's actually really tough. I want to discard something to get another Shadow Rider Calyrex V down, because I think that could be quite good. And we already have the energy. I think I'm going to go ahead here and pitch the Marnie. I don't see any reason why I would not want to pitch the Marnie. Let's just grab another Shadow Rider Calyrex V down. And next turn I'm ready to go for Underworld Door, start attacking. So we're going to go ahead here and pass. We got triple Shadow Rider out. And it's fine. Some players like playing the other Shadow Rider Calyrex V. I'm not opposed to that. I think it's like okay. Although when I am playing against decks like Malamar, I do like Astral Barrage more than what I think the promo one could offer. So we're like in an awkward spot because we are going second in this matchup, and like they could just go like Path to the Peak and really hurt us. That would certainly suck. I don't want to be like sacrificing too many other prize cards either. So if they decide to attack us, they're about to discard both of their energies, or they're about to remove some of their energies. We could just not evolve that one if they go for Ride of the High King, or they're going to be losing their energies and then we attack them. So they get out their Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. So that's what I'm talking about. Max Lance or Ride of the High King. Do they poke at us, or do they go for the Max Lance? I think our opponent's probably going to go for Max Lance. I think that's probably what they're going to do. That does force them to grab Melanie next turn and an energy, and they can't play boss. So that's really the kicker. Grabbing out another Sobble. This matchup can get spooky, especially if we are not able to attack ASAP. We really need to try to buy a little bit of time here. Are they just going to grab out another Ice Rider V? I mean, I don't think they need Ice Rider V this turn because we're not threatening an Oko. So they could probably just grab Sobble, Drizzile. So we know that they don't have much in their hands. Or at least we should assume that because they are getting prepared for next turn. And they are going for the Max Lance to draw some prize cards. Cool. So we're going to send up this one without the energies because we'd rather have air balloons on our Shadow Riders than not. So we're going to go ahead and send up this Pokemon. And we got switched. That's fine. That's fine. So since they didn't play Path to the Peak, and sometimes their deck does not play Path to the Peak, we're just going to go Underworld Door, power up ourselves on the bench. I'm going to go Fog Crystal, search our deck for the Alcremie V, because they can't boss it up now because we're not going to have enough in play. Let's go Alcremie goes there. We're going to attach for our turn. Since we already have the switch, there's no reason for us not to play switch. And then I'm going to play research. So we can poke into the Shadow Rider Calyrex and have that all set up for a future turn. I'm going to go for Evolution Incense and go for another Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. And we're just going to start powering things up. Just in case they do drop a path, I am going to go for Underworld Door here. I'd like to get out one more Shadow Rider V if we have the opportunity to do so. Now, we haven't really lost too much. So let's go ahead and Fog Crystal, grab another one. We want to make sure that we're not feeding into their Ride of the High King. So 4 on the bench is 130. They won't be able to knock out our Alcremie with Inteleon stuff. So you got to watch out for like little damage pings. So we are quite set up there. We do have access to Max Geist. Let's swing into them for a decent bit, and we could either go for Evolution Incense for the Alcremie next turn or not, but I think we're going to be able to go for the knockout with Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Because this turn, they need to go Melanie, attach, Max Lance for 250, and get another Ice Rider V down. So they are looking for energy, which can be very hard for this deck to get, especially since they're down 3 energies. They'd have to search for a Capacious Buckets. They'd also have to grab a Melanie. Oh, they do have the Path. Crazy. I was not expecting them to play the Path at this point. We could have also used that Fog Crystal to grab out a Marshadow. That might have been a better prediction. I honestly did not see them playing Path to the Peak there. Now, we can get rid of a couple energies. We do got to watch out, though, because we are already down an Ordinary Rod, and we might be in a tough spot. They need to have access to Melanie here, and that's really the big kicker. They could grab Evolution Incense, and they'd have access to Drizzile. Oh, with Quick Ball. Okay, so if they're going Quick Ball, then they should have the Ice Rider V. But if they were doing that, then they should have played Melanie first so that they could have accurately grabbed the last thing that they were looking for, Drizzile. Okay, never mind. They just had access to Inteleon. Still, they should have done the whole Melanie and energy thing first. Although we have to worry about one less quick shooting Inteleon because they were forced to evolve into this. So they do have the Capacious Bucket. They do have the Melanie. We can go for the knockout here, and then our plan is to knock out the other Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX once they eventually get that set up. Since they are likely just getting knocked out, we are in a position of power. We should be at least in a position of power if we're able to get the knockout. Now, we need to do another 190, which means we need to get 2 energies out and play this turn. So we do need to find access to a Marshadow. Like a Marshadow, Quick Ball, Fog Crystal top deck would be the best case scenario for us. Like legitimately best case scenario. And I don't know if they're deciding on like if they're going to get the matchup or get the knockouts. That's one thing that can make it tough. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do here. Maybe they're like, if they don't discard the energies, I'm totally happy because they're going to be doing less damage. On the other hand, they might be like, what if he misses? And that's really the other thing. I think I win this game right now unless I miss. So they might have a better chance focusing on if I miss my Max Geist or just a knockout in general, because I don't instantly have it. Okay, they're just foregoing that, and they're going to hit Max Lance for the full 250. That's fine. We did get Air Balloon, so the Air Balloon does give us a lot of options. Now, I am just going to go... I don't want another Shadow Rider in my deck. That sounds like really like lame of me, but like whatever. I'm gonna go for the Alcremie VMAX here. And the reason why I'm going for Alcremie VMAX is because, but we can attach 1, 2, 3, 4 energies. Yeah, I'm gonna go Alcremie VMAX just in case we miss, because I could pitch 4 energies. 4 energies literally would win me the game. And it's one of the only things that gives me options. So I'm gonna hard attach here. Now, we are in a world where we are losing an energy, which is quite tough. We are losing both of our ordinary rods, so we got to keep our G-Max Whisk at bay, kind of, because I'm basically lost zoning my energies in Pokemon at this point. We're not using Underworld Door because of Path to the Peak, in case anyone is wondering that. Okay, let's pitch this hand away, see if we can get a Marshadow. Now, we are going to be able to kind of get this big knockout. Okay, literally our Marshadows are prized. That is really tough. Okay, cool. I did not foresee that. That is tough. I literally missed that when I was looking through the deck, because typically Marshadow's not that important, especially when you don't think your opponent's playing Path. We're gonna have to pitch away 4 energies, which puts us in a really awkward position. We can attach 4 energies. That, yeah. We literally need to get this knockout. So let's go G-Max Whisk. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't feel like we're in a good spot anymore. Not having access to that Marshadow literally meant from us discarding 4 energies or having another 4 energies in play and attaching. So there's Marshadow. Like, at least we're getting some of the cards that we needed. We're also down 2 of our switch. So like, we're just like kind of in this low-key impossible situation. Now, depending on how they decide to set up, we might be able to get out our switch. I mean, we prize so many things. We might be able to get out that last switch. We still have access to Air Balloon. We just don't want to be wasteful. So this is really one of those clear things where understanding where your prize cards are at, I could have focused it on that a little bit more. Of course, if both my Marshadows are prize, Path to the Peak is going to stick. So there's really nothing that you can do, but in the event where you can do something, it gets a little bit sticky. Now, is our opponent going to go for Articuno here? I can't tell. Oh, they're going for Mew. Interesting. So they could go for a Mew knockout on the Shadow Rider Calyrex V. I don't think that's like terribly helpful for them. And the fact that we have access to enough energies and we have access to Marshadow now, we should be pretty good. Now, they might not even be able to get the knockouts. That does 50. They need to get 1 more out. So I think what they're trying to do is that slow roll where they're going to be doing 30, 50, 70 next turn. So either if they find a Drizzile, they can get it. If we knock out the Inteleon, they can get it. It's actually not a bad play. If we're able to find Boss, I think we win the game. That's really where I'm at. We want to find Boss's orders. Now we can go Quick Ball here, discard an Evolution Incense, or actually a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, and then start playing things out. They do have access to Drizzile. So like, so far, I think we're in a really good spot. We want to just go ahead and knock out this Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, or this Ice Rider Calyrex V if they do not evolve. If they do evolve, it can get a little bit dicey. But they did, I believe they played the Marnie this turn, right? Yeah. Always double check if you don't know exactly what's going on. Yeah, they played Marnie. Because games can just like, you could be like, oh, I think they played Marnie, and then they're just going to be playing a Melanie or something like that. We do have access to knocking out this Pokemon if they do not evolve, and I think that would checkmate our opponents. There's that, and they're going to go ahead here and hit us for 30 with Mew. Not a bad call. Oh, and they're reset stamping us again. Cool. We do have access to So So I'm going to go with Fog Crystal first. Yeah, and I'm going to grab a Psychic Energy. We just want to get built up. So let's go ahead and go Marshadow here. Marshadow, pitch away this. And at this point, we're just trying to build up onto one of our Shadow Riders. So let's go ahead and go... we're going to go with this one first. Let's go Underworld Door there. They do have the boss. I also feel like there's a world where we just get the knockout with the Alcremie and can win the game because they can't knock out 2 Pokemon. Let me just double check to see exactly what we have going on here. We do have access to Switch. We do have access to 5 energies. We do have access to that. Let's go for Dedenne-GX. That seems completely valid. I do really want to boss up and knock that out, but I think we just win the game no matter what if we just power up enough energies in play. So we're gonna knock out this and then try to oh, actually, if we don't go boss this turn, we probably do not win the game. I don't want to, like, it's actually really awkward with having the boss in our hand because, like, I can't put it back into the deck. And it's our last one, so we might actually run out of options if they decide to go Melanie or whatever, because if we give them too many turns, we could actually just lose the game. I'm gonna go boss. I'm just trying to double check here. 5. I think we have access. 6, 7. I'm just gonna go boss here. They might just concede the game. And then we're gonna go for Dedenne-GX. So here we're gonna go ahead and power up with Underworld Door. Here. I'm just gonna go Quick Ball. I know we don't need another one of these. We have access to 3 energies. There's actually a world where we do not get it. I'm just trying to think, do I go Switch, power that up? I almost have to. So yeah, let's go Switch here. Sorry, I know it's getting a little bit dry with the commentary. I just have to double check to make sure that this is the right path for me. So let's go Underworld Door, power up this. We have access to another energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put my 5th energy, I know I have 2 energies left. And we should just draw one out of our prize cards. They would have to send up another Ice Rider Calyrex V, not knowing exactly what's going on with their deck. So we can lose this game if we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. We have 2 left in our deck. So if we miss the energy out of our prize cards and they send up another Pokemon that we can't get around with Alcremie VMAX, because we'd only have access to 3, that's really where it would get awkward. We have Air Balloon to get out of it. We can see our entire deck. Let's go G-Max Whisk and discard 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is why Alcremie VMAX is very good. We might not actually have access to Espeon. Like, that wouldn't have been an option. So we do have the Psychic Energy. If they send up pretty much everything, we should be able to be good. Now, they've already played their Reset Stamp. Typically, this deck only plays 1 Reset Stamp. So as long as we are... They could go Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak would be awkward for us. If they go for another Path to the Peak, that's awkward. Now, we lost our other Marshadow. I just want to double check that. Yeah, Path to the Peak here would be absolutely the scariest thing that could happen. I don't think they have access to, like, freely search that out of their deck. But if they do, they do. And, oh, there's SUICUNE V. Interesting. So, pretty much a new built version. Let's go ahead and go Shadow Rider Calyrex. V goes up active. VMAX. We don't want them to just send up a Dedenne-GX. Now, they have access to free retreat there. They have 210. There's nothing that they could do with fleet-footed. There's some other sniping capabilities. They might have some other tags. Are they just going to send up the SUICUNE, Melanie to it? I think it's better to use the fleet-footed first for what it's worth, and then decide. Hopefully they just don't play. There's their path. Yeah, that's going to be really tough for us. And reset stamp. We are probably going to lose this game. Yikes. Got really awkward, but that's fine. We'd literally need to top deck. What would we have to top deck here? We would have to top deck the air balloon. Yeah. So we're going to give our opponent the well played. We just lose this game. We can't retreat. They just knock us out. So we'll just pass our turn so they can get the knockout. But the Path to the Peak is really what killed us there. Otherwise, we could have seen the whole deck. Path to the Peak reset stamp is huge. So really close, but prizing ultimately got us in the end. And our opponent played pretty well that game. So our opponent here is calling a coin flip. We won the coin flip. Yo, let's go. We would love to go first. All right. I was going to say there's nothing going on in our hand, but we also don't have any basic. Like, our hand was like, okay, we just don't have any basic Pokemon here. We'll see what they're flipping over. I'm honestly not sure what they're going to flip over. Let's, your opponent's starting their Pokemon. Cool. Let's see exactly what we have going on. Like, I think they're just selecting their Pokemon here. Cool. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a good hand here, peeps. So, we're starting with our pal Galarian Articuno. That's honestly not too bad. We won't be able to use Cruel Charge. Literally the newest card that we've added into this deck, but that's fine. It is a single prize card Pokemon that we are starting with. It's really not that bad. They started with a Mew, also not bad. I think we just try to go ahead and get set up here as much as possible. So I'm just going to go Fog Crystal. I don't know what they want to have. I want to look through my deck. I did prize 2 energies. We do have access to Alcremie. We do have enough access to Shadow Riders. I'm just going to go for this. Quick Ball, pitch this away. Grab another one. Just want to double check how many boss. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's go like this. We have switch for next turn. The card that we top deck is going to get quick balled away because we don't need all 3 Shadow Rider Calyrex V, and we're attaching energy there, and then we're going to go ahead and pass. So not knowing exactly what our opponent's playing, this seems like a good start for us. Let's see what they quick ball away. We're playing against another water matchup. Is this like a SUICUNE deck? I honestly can't tell if SUICUNE's the deck that people are... looks like we play against SUICUNE Inteleon? Cool. So far, like, nothing crazy. Our hand was very good, but that's also fine. We'll just see what our opponent does here. Our hand's also still fine. Cape of Toughness gives it 260. That's still cool with me. Let's go Shadow Rider. We gotta watch out for Gengar Mimikyu here. They could also play things, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for Fog Crystal, attaching an energy. We're just gonna put the Marshadow down just in case. I'm gonna attach there, and then I'm gonna go Marty on our opponent and see exactly what goes on. We'd love to get out a Shadow Rider VMAX, given the possibility, because I just don't want them to bring this up and knock it out. So that would be really tough on us. Now, that being said, we're still in an awkward spot. We could attach again at next turn. Part of me almost wants to pitch away an energy and just go Dedenne-GX and try to get set up. I think this is literally our best option, so let's pitch away the Psychic Energy, grab a Dedenne-GX. Now, before we put anything else back, let's go for Ordinary Rod. Let's shuffle the basic energy back, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go with Dedenne-GX. We're trying to get a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX out ASAP. Unfortunately, we failed at that. I am going to go Path to the Peak in play in case it does slow down our opponent a little bit. We do have access to Marshadow, and I don't think they're going to take out Marshadow. We're going to go ahead here and pass. So due to all of our efforts, we were not able to get Shadow Rider and start building up those energies could be in a really tough spot, but our opponent's just going to concede because maybe Path stopped them there. And that's what we got going on for this video today, peeps. Hopefully you enjoyed watching Shadow Rider Calyrex in our first game. It was super close. I know we lost. I literally tried my best, but you want to know what I did learn? That I need to search my prize cards a little bit more often and be more open-minded when it comes to game states. Don't just assume what's going on with your opponent's deck in a closed deck list kind of format, which is the versus ladder. So had I known my Marsh Shadows were prized, I still probably wouldn't have been able to do anything, but I might have been able to prepare a little bit more. That being said, that game was absolutely a struggle. It totally happens, fams. And it's one of those things where I could just only learn and grow as a player. Game 2, getting at that Path to the Peak, likely stopped our opponent from having a decent setup. Even though our setup was a little bit whack, Path to the Peak can sometimes win games. We'll never know why our opponent truly conceded, but they conceded and we won the game. For everyone who's wondering, I actually was able to win like 4 games before I played the first game. So that's why I had a decent win streak going at the beginning of the video, in case anyone noticed. I was getting like turn 1 Horror House GX, our opponent would just I'd get turn 2 fully set up and my opponents would quit the game. So overall, I did play a handful of games. I know we only went 1-1 in the video and 1 was a concession, so it looks weird, but a lot of players are conceding against Shadow Rider because their deck just can't properly handle it, or they just do not have a great start and we get a decent start. That being said, the list is in the description. The list does play out a lot better than it showed, I think, in this video. I mean, we played very well, but Path to the Peak is a tough card to deal with sometimes, and I'm just going to try to be as transparent as possible. If you liked Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, give this video a thumbs up. It does help boost the algorithm, or if you just like supporting me as a content creator, also just give this a like. That really helps out. Subscribe to the channel. We just passed 5,400 subscribers. That really helps out too. It would be absolutely amazing. And leave a comment below which deck you want me to cover on the channel next. I'll get around to all the comments when I can. That being said, I'm gonna go make some breakfast, so I'll catch up with everyone later. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member. It's one of those things where I appreciate every single person who watches my videos, and I mean, that's really where it counts, but for the channel members, they've gone out of their way to financially support me, and I truly appreciate that gesture. It's one of those things when I started channel memberships up on my channel, and I just didn't know if anyone was ever going to do it, so I truly appreciate everyone taking the plunge, taking a leap of trust, and investing in me as a content creator. Truly makes a difference for me each and every month. If you haven't already thought about becoming a channel member, you might want to contribute to the channel, and I do put everything back into the channel to make it the best possible place to watch for Pokemon TCG content. Again, I truly appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.